Picture a cave. No lights, no phones, just a fire and a handful of tired bodies huddled around it. Smoke curls straight up into everyone's face. At some point, one of your ancestors noticed something. That smoke wasn't just annoying, it was doing something to their head. That's the start of a habit that never really left us. Not cigarettes, not vapes. The actual first time a human being deliberately breathed in something burning on purpose because of how it made them feel. You can't smoke anything without fire. The earliest solid evidence of controlled fire comes from Wonderwerk Cave in South Africa. Burnt plant matter and charred bone, roughly 1 million years old, in a spot that rules out a wildfire, and the species using it wasn't even us yet. It was Homo erectus. For hundreds of thousands of years after that, sitting around a fire meant breathing smoke every single night. It wasn't a choice, it was just Tuesday. Here's where it gets interesting. Wood smoke isn't the only thing that ends up in a fire. Depending what's growing nearby, burning plants release psychoactive compounds, alkaloids, terpenes, the kind that do something noticeable to a nervous system. So somewhere out there, some early human was sitting downwind of the wrong bush and accidentally getting high off their own campfire with no idea why. That's not a wild guess either. Our brains already have cannabinoid receptors, part of a system that regulates mood and appetite built in long before anyone burned a plant on purpose. So when someone finally inhaled that smoke, their brain wasn't confused. It already had a key that fit the lock, which means smoking might not have started as a decision at all. It might have started as an accident, repeated often enough that someone eventually thought, let's do that again, on purpose. Now, the responsible part, ancient humans smoked things, and ancient humans grew things specifically to smoke, are very different claims. The oldest solid evidence of deliberate cannabis smoking comes from a burial site in the Pamir Mountains around 500 BCE. Wooden burners, superheated stones, and cannabis residue with unusually high THC, buried with the dead on purpose. Older evidence might just not have survived. Seeds and leaves rot in centuries. Stone tools last millions of years. Then there's the Herodotus problem. He wrote that the Scythians built small tents, heated stones, and threw hemp seeds on them to inhale the smoke, howling with pleasure. Historians assumed he exaggerated, until archaeologists dug up Scythian burial mounds and found exactly that. Bronze braziers, heated stones, hemp residue. He wasn't embellishing. If anything, he undersold it. Tobacco itself is native to the Americas, completely unknown elsewhere until contact in the late 1400s. European sailors thought it was bizarre. Weeks later, they were doing it too, but tobacco use there is far older than that. Pipe residue pushes it back at least 3,500 years, and a 12,000-year-old hearth in Utah held wild tobacco seeds deliberately placed long before pipes even existed in the region. Here's the part that gets skipped. For most of that history, tobacco wasn't recreational. It was sacred, used in healing, in communication with the spirit world, in sealing agreements. Blowing smoke on someone was a blessing. The idea of tobacco as a casual, all-day habit is basically a European invention, and a fairly recent one. Some researchers argue the drive to alter consciousness is basically a fourth biological instinct right up there with hunger, thirst, and sex, and it's not even uniquely human. Elephants seek out fermented fruit. Reindeer eat hallucinogenic mushrooms. There's a social piece too. Humans survive in groups and a shared altered experience. Everyone breathing the same smoke together, and it builds trust fast. That ritual smoke circle wasn't just a party, it was infrastructure. Then came the uncomfortable part. When tobacco reached Europe, it stopped being ritual fast. By the 1700s, it was fashionable. By the early 1900s, the industrial cigarette existed, engineered to be more addictive than anything before it, while companies quietly buried their own cancer research. What indigenous cultures spent thousands of years turning into careful ritual, industry compressed into a mass-market product in under 4 centuries. So when did ancient humans start smoking? Honestly, we don't know exactly, and we probably never will. The hard evidence goes back 12,000 years, maybe much further, but the instinct underneath it, noticing something changed how you felt and choosing to do it again, I'd say, that's not addiction, that's just early pattern recognition, and it might be as old as fire itself.